He's going to be our presiding priest over this. We're having a first and second initiation. And Yamuna Priya is having her second. And it is Eugene who's having his first. He'll probably end up having his second too down the road, and maybe even a third. Hare Krishna. Okay? Can you hear me okay, everyone? Okay. And we're on the 3rd, aren't we? Today's date. Whoa! We're December 3rd today, correct? Okay, great. Hare Krishna. Subhadra, we're just doing a ceremony here in the Montreal Temple, but everybody here wants to say Hari Bol to you. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll talk later. Okay, Prabhus, thank you very much. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutare Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai, thank you very much. Oh, Mataji. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Okay, not at all. Yep, the garlands can go. You can do for Mataji, and Boris, can you do for Prabhu? Okay, because usually it means then you're marrying the person. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Today is the 3rd day of December, and so I'm just going to speak on the chapter 12, because it's the 12th month of the year, and text number 3. This chapter is entitled Devotional Service, and in this chapter, verse 3 and 4 are linked together. So I just take it as Krishna's mercy that we should speak from this. So we'll give a class now, a little class, and tie it into the meaning of initiation. And we'll also then carry on with the procedure. Vikram will do the Havan ceremony, and there will be opportunities for everyone here to join in some of the kirtan. Okay? Great. I'm a little fussy about the way things look. Anyways, if there's coats, I think they should be hanging on the coat hangers, coat hooks. It shouldn't look messy. Because some people are going to take photos and videos, so it should look nice, right? So if you hang your coats just over here, there's another place for coats by the stairs. There's at least 3 places right close by. And this way it will look good. And everything's going to be nice for videoing. We even have one of our devotees ironing clothes at this time. That's going to be really interesting. And yeah, you can straighten out that tablecloth a bit. Straighten it out. It looks crooked. Okay, it's not asking too much. Great. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. We already had some kirtan. Thank you very much. And here's the Sanskrit for the verse 3 and 4. Itakshuram aniradisham avyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gam achintyam cha kutastam achalang dhruvam sani yam yendriya gramam sarvatra sama buddhayaha te prapnivanti mam eva sarva bhuta hite rata. Translation. Those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. Okay, great. And in the purport, I'll read that. And if everyone could just kind of be still and not talk back and forth and just, be real focused. Focus, please, okay? Those who do not directly worship the Supreme Godhead, Krishna, but who attempt to achieve the same goal by an indirect process, also ultimately achieve the same goal, Sri Krishna. Quote, after many births, the person of wisdom seeks refuge in me, knowing that Vasudev is all. End of quote. When a person comes to full knowledge after many births, he surrenders unto Lord Krishna. If one approaches the Godhead by the method mentioned in this verse, he has to control the senses, render service to everyone, and engage in the welfare of all beings. That can wait. Hare Krishna. Mataji, I just asked if everyone would keep quiet. That can wait. Okay, please. Often there is much penance involved before one fully surrenders unto him. In order to perceive the supersoul within the individual soul, one has to seize the sensual activities of seeing, hearing, tasting, working, etc. Then one comes to understand that the Supreme Soul is present everywhere. Realizing this, one envies no living entity. He sees no difference between man and animal because he sees soul only, not the outer covering. But for the common person, this method of impersonal realization is very difficult. Okay, so Srila Prabhupada is speaking here. He's taking stabs at the impersonal approach to God. At the same time, Krishna is saying, if you are what we call an impersonalist, then eventually you'll become personal. Does that make sense? Let's give some examples. The four Kumaras, they were following the path of Brahmananda. They were following the path of impersonalism. They were meditating, and while they were meditating, the image of Vishnu appeared before them. And at the feet of Vishnu was the smell of tulsi leaves. And Prabhu, if you could just wait. Yeah. I'm just asking one more time. Just don't fuss. Water can be sprayed later on. I need to focus, please. Okay. And everyone can just sit still. I won't burden you. Okay. So, Krishna is saying, and let's quote like this, Bahunam janmanamanti, jnanavam prabhajate, vasudeva sarvamiti, samahatma sadurlabha. If you take the impersonal approach and you're very sincere, eventually you'll come to the point of wanting to understand God personally. The example is of the 4 Kumaras. They were in meditation, and they had their eyes closed or half closed. You know what it says in the Gita? When you're supposed to focus on the tip of the nose. You remember that verse? Okay? When you meditate, try meditating, looking at the tip of your nose. But the tip is not here. The tip is here. It's in the third eye. It's supposed to be here. Focused more in this area here. So while they were meditating on the impersonal form of God, Vishnu came into view, and he had very fresh, from the basil family, the plant known as tulsi. And they smelled the tulsi. She could be very strong. And it aroused them, and they opened their eyes fully, and then they saw Vishnu's there. It was like, oh my God, this is such a beautiful image of the Supreme. I think we should take some interest. Yeah? So then they took to the spiritual path, the personal path. There are other examples. Shukadeva Goswami. Formerly, he was on the path of Brahman, and he eventually came to realize that, after hearing the pastimes of the Lord from his father, Vyasadeva, that, I think that I like this. I like God as a person. I like the concept very much. Yeah. So we're not putting down people who are on the impersonal path, because it's a little bit like when you take a shower. You've been working in the field all day, take a shower, and if somebody comes in and says, oh, you're very dirty. Yeah, but I'm taking a shower. I'm half clean, So we cannot criticize people who are making an effort to become spiritually advanced. Okay. Now this chapter is entitled Devotional Service. It's all about being personal to God. No longer do we have to accept that God doesn't have a form, that there's no roop, that there's no personality, no character. Now we can say, God's a person. I'll tell you a funny story. When I walked across the U.S., one of the walks I did across the U.S., and there was an old train station. It was bought by a Christian group, and they were holding meditations there. There was 1 or 2 nuns there that I remember, from the Christian Catholic background. And I was asked to speak at the opening of this new yoga place. And the main fellow was behind it. He was Christian, but he also loved bhakti. He embraced both. So I spoke a little bit about, bhakti, and then it was question and answer time. And so the people were asking, is God a person? According to what we believe in. And they were waiting for the answer. And I remember the nun being like this. She was waiting for my answer, said, oh, most definitely, God is a person. And she and a whole bunch of other people, what a relief to hear that, So that's what we're getting involved in here in Krishna consciousness. We're being personal with God. We're being personal with each other. We're being kind to each other. One of the most important things to gain from Krishna consciousness is to be nice. That's one of the words that Prabhupada used an awful lot. So you have to be nice. Do everything nicely, like this is done nicely. He's dressed up very nicely. Pardon me, I'm talking to you. Well, you two are dressed very nicely. The prasadam that comes later, I assume, it will be very nice. Everything's nice, like sugar and spice. Okay? And so building up relationships with Krishna means building up a relationship with his devotees. Frankly, Krishna is not interested in us coming close to him when we can't come close to each other. That's just the bottom line, right? I mean, we have to be just kind, generous, gracious to each other, develop good, strong relations. And I know that not all chemistry works for everybody, you know. There's some people that just don't get along with each other. So, what do you do about that? Well, basically you can still develop a relationship. A respectful distance might do the job. Just like if you're walking in the, in the Appalachians, up in the, the Laurentians, and you're walking on a trail and you see a bear, a black bear, okay? Now, how you will react to that bear, you have options, okay? You can try to chase him away, and I wouldn't advise that. You can run away, and I wouldn't advise that either. I would probably do something like this. I don't think it's a bad thing to go like this, and just keep your cool, and just kind of like walk around or be still, and he'll make his way. He'll probably be more scared of you than he is of you, but respect from a distance is what we're talking about when it comes to people. And you learn that fine art after a while. You're not going to get along with everybody. We have different personalities, but if you can respect from a distance, then everything is nice, cool, calm, and collected. And in that atmosphere, we can all advance in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so I want to go back to the place in Pennsylvania where there was this Christian group had bought the old train station. Now, we had kirtan, and those people just went wild with the dancing. Even the nun who had her long veil on and the white hair, and she was dancing up a storm. It was so nice, to see that. It was nice to see two different kind of communities coming together and being married together, in a sense, okay? So that's what devotees can try to do. Let's not try to alienate, but with other people, we should be able to blend in with all kinds of people, be in all kinds of circumstances, and not separate, but rather congenially come together and be like real friends. It's really important, okay? So Krishna will accept you back home, back to Godhead, if you're nice to people, and you're nice to nature, you're good with the environment. I'm just telling you truthfully, and especially with devotees. So when Prabhupada would give Diksha to first initiates, he would always speak about the 10 offenses against chanting. And the first offense, it's the topmost. He said, watch out for this one. Do not be critical of other Vaishnavas, other people. Do not have a mean streak towards anybody who's on the spiritual path. And especially if someone is quite successful, believe you me that it is possible that we can be a little jealous of each other. We can be. Oh, that person is, this is the nature of like when you're a new person. Oh, we joined at the same time, and that person is doing so well in Krishna consciousness, and I'm just lagging behind, so you get a little bit jealous, right? It's human nature. Well, you have to overcome these things if you want to make advancement. And we have to be very careful not to be critical of those who are good practitioners and have got a good record in Krishna consciousness. We just have to be really careful, And that's what the verse is saying. Somebody's not envious, but who's equally disposed. You are open to everybody, in a sense. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was like that. He was open to the animals. He was open to the Buddhists. He was open to the Muslims. He was open to the Hindus. Some of the Hindus gave him more trouble than the Muslims and Buddhists, But he was just very open. Everyone is a recipient of Krishna consciousness. Because at the core of our existence, there is love. Love is deep, but even though it's deep, it can be found. Nitya Seda Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunaya. Love for God, Krishna Prema, it's in the core of the heart. Yeah. And we just have to try to find it, that's all. We have to find that prema, and it'll come out through our good behavior, good devotional practices. There are other offenses against chanting, such as being critical of Guru, critical of, let's say, taking chanting as just another one of the pujas. No, chanting Krishna's name is for this age. Chanting Krishna's name is for Kali Yuga. It is the Yuga Dharma. Yuga means age, and Dharma means practice. So it is the practice for the age, is chanting Krishna's name. And how do we chant? We do it in different ways. There's different formats. Sometimes we have kirtan, and that can be a lot of fun, right? Come on, come on. Kirtan can be a lot of fun. Kirtan means to glorify God. Sankirtan means when many people together are doing it. It's like a party. It's fun. It's kind of easy. It's an easy groove to slip into. Then sometimes we do bhajans. Bhajans is like a smaller group of people. It can be a song that's a little more detailed than the recitation of the 3 words, Hare Krishna and Rama. And it can be musical, use musical instruments. And the third kind of chanting is what we call japa, right? And I have to tell you all, this is really interesting. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna addresses all 3. Satatan kirtayantamam yatantascha dirida vrita. Chapter 9 from Bhagavad Gita. A real Mahatma or a real saintly person is someone who's always glorifying Krishna. Satatan, always. Kirtayanta, mam, glorifying Krishna. Okay. Then the Lord also mentions chapter 6 from Bhagavad Gita. He defines what is the best form of yoga. There's different kinds of yoga. Jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, karma yoga, etc. And then there's bhakti yoga. And yoginam api sarveshan madgatin antaratmanam shradadvan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. Bhajate, that word bhajan is in there. Okay, anybody whose phone goes off, they have to do 10 push-ups. Ralph, you have to do 10 push-ups. Are you ready to do 10 push-ups? Not really. Okay. And then finally, japa is also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna himself. It's the ultimate sound, is japa. So those are the 3 formats for chanting Hare Krishna. And I would say that kirtan is fun, bhajan is deep and meaningful, japa is important, but it's a little bit of a struggle. You have to be a little bit more like a warrior, a kshatriya. I got to focus my mind. My mind has to be fixed on this sound vibration. You know, I think we all experience that. So I have to avoid the fences. There's 10 of them. And before we move on, I'll just say that does anybody do gardening here? Does anybody grow plants, flowers, vegetables in the spring, at the end of May? You do? Okay. And isn't it, so everything goes good. You put the seedlings in the ground, everything goes good, and then you find there's some pests in there. Like maybe a dog is urinating, maybe there's a bug infestation, and it's just so disheartening, right? And what about, they call it the hati mata, an elephant offense. Why, I haven't seen too many elephants around here lately, you know, coming down the street, but let's say if you did start your garden and an elephant happens to come around and starts plucking everything out, you would be mortified, you know? So the elephant is making an offense. We can also make offenses against chanting. You know, you make an endeavor, you start your devotional creeper. You know, our spiritual growth is compared to a plant, a bhakti lata. But it can also be destroyed by offenses, especially against devotees. So, you know, for the new initiate, Eugene, you can look at those 10 offenses, okay? And Mataji, you can do a refresher, okay? Look at those 10 offenses, because chanting Hare Krishna is going to be part of your life from here on until the day you die, hopefully. Okay, so one important thing about getting Diksha, Prabhupada wanted, through what we call the parampara, he wanted this system to continue to go on. Prabhupada in the early days was the only Diksha Guru, and for the most part, Shiksha Guru as well. But then, before he left us, he made it very clear he wanted some of us to get qualified to be gurus. Both on the two levels, like Shiksha and Diksha. Do you understand the difference? Mm-hmm. Diksha means initiation, it's kind of the ritual, and Shiksha means giving instructions, giving a lot of personal input into the disciple. So he wanted this to go on, but when one takes on a Diksha Guru, one should bear in mind that you're also making connections with Prabhupada. Why? Because another 10. Okay. Because, let's see, I got distracted there. What was I saying? Yeah, connection with Prabhupada. Why? Sanstapakacharya. He is the founder acharya of our movement. That means he's the main guru for everybody. And to put it very simply, he's like our Jesus Christ. In Christianity, they have Jesus, and we have Prabhupada in the ISKCON movement. You know? He's the one that's will make the difference. He's the glue that keeps this beautiful culture of ISKCON all together. So if we can see it like that, Prabhupada's my main guru, so if people ask you, who's your guru? You can say one of two things. Well, it's Bhaktimarg Swami. Well, okay, great. But another answer is, well, I'm a Prabhupada Nuga. I'm a follower of Prabhupada because I belong to ISKCON, you know. So we have to have that broad vision. That has to be the umbrella for us all, right? So it's important to do that. Okay, now for second initiated person, we can look to chapter 18, text 42 from Bhagavad Gita. Goes like this: Shamadamas shaucham shantir arjavam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma swabhavajam. There's 9 particular qualities that are there. A person should be peaceful, even if you're hot-headed. You know, you have a tendency to be, you know, get hot under the collar. When you get second initiation, you have to learn how to keep your cool, you know. You have to get to wipe the sweat off you and just undo your collar maybe, you know. Or if you're wearing a turban, take the turban off. You know, somehow they keep cool, you know, headed. So that's Shama Damas, sense control, practice fasts and things like that. Shocham, be very clean in one's habits, you know. I mean, a Brahminical person will not be like a teenager and leave their bedroom messy. Has anybody been a teenager here before? I think everybody. You know what it's like to be a teenager and your mom comes in yelling at you, you make up your bed, you know, and she's right, of course, you know. So we don't make a mess, everything's clean. When you're clean and the way you dress and everything, it affects your consciousness, right? So those are 3 particular qualities out of the 9 that we mentioned, and there's more. So we'll ask you to look at that, chapter 18, text 42, really important. Okay, so we're going through initiation process here, first and second. It means it's a change. It's a samskar. It's a sacrament. You're moving ahead. You're stepping ahead. You're on the stairs, and you're on this level of the stairs. You're taking the next step up, and that's how it works. You work towards improvement, okay? And there's always room for improvement. If you live in a big house, the best room in the house is the room for improvement. The place where you can excel, okay? Usually it's not the bathroom, not the toilet. People don't usually get enlightened in the toilet, even though it's a relieving situation. Yeah. So those are some of the points we mentioned. So let's go for some numbers. 10 offenses, that what can be reviewed by both of you. And also there's 9 qualities of a Brahminical person. There's 16 rounds. There's also 7. Can anybody say what 7 is? Anyone guess 7? No? Going once? Going twice? Do you know? What comes in 7? For ISKCON. That's a hint. Okay. 7 purposes of ISKCON. Right? Yeah, it's mission oriented. Know what you're becoming a member now. And we will, after this ceremony, I will have somebody follow up and get a little more details of both of you, okay? Just we have to have a record. So 7 purposes of ISKCON, 16, 4 regulative principles. And I'm going to tease my dear friend, Kritamala, a little bit. 4 regulative principles. And I say that with love. It's just, we have to take it very seriously, like she does. Restrictions. We do have to take it very seriously. And so those are 4 items. And, Prabhupada liked numbers. Prabhupada liked numbers. He liked, what he liked? And which way he was looking for numbers. I want to find out for my leaders how many books are being distributed, especially at this time of the year. I'd like to also know how many temples are being opened. And I also would like to hear how many devotees we are making. So he was very mission-oriented, and he was really into the numbers, really into the figures. How much prasad was given? How many plates of prasad? Or banana leaf prasad bits? So we have to sort of adopt his spirit. That's why it's really important. Like all the gurus that we have in the movement, each and every one of them is different. And they're all beautiful in their own way. But what's really important for us to do is to embrace Prabhupada's spirit. We have to capture his mood, his spirit. It's really important. And I would also recommend that, reread anything you can get your hands on about Prabhupada. I mean, to be honest with you, my favorite books in the world, even though I mentioned earlier, I like John Steinbeck's, Orson Welles, I like them. I like anything that Satyaraj puts out there. Stephen Rosen from New York. But my favorite books really are anything that's written about Prabhupada. Doesn't matter the author. It can be Guru Das, it can be Shyama Sundar, it can be Hari Sari, anything about Prabhupada, because it's just so human-like. It's so, it brings you close to the heart. Okay. Mataji, we'll just 5 push-ups. Thank you, Lolita. Yeah. I'm just joking a little bit. If we can't have a little fun, then life is not worth living. Okay. And let us adapt the spirit of Prabhupada. Prabhupada was kind to everybody. He was kind to the ladies. There was a period back in 75 where there was an upheaval, the worst storm that happened at ISKCON, psychological storm. Some devotees didn't show kindness to the women. They didn't show kindness to even the men who were married to women. They were also showing not kindness to brahmacharis and brahmacharinis who were supporting the grihastas. It was not a good time. It was very bad. So Prabhupada felt very bad, and he stepped in and he resolved as best he could this conflict that had taken place. It was a family feud. So we want to maintain a respect for everybody. One of my favorite songs, R.E.S.P.C.T., Aretha Franklin. Anybody know?
Yes, R.E.S.P.C.T.
Yeah, you got it. Okay. All right, mutual respect. So what is the mood again? Let's choose the verse from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you know it, you can say it. Trinadapi sunichina, tarorapi sahishnana, amanina manadina, kirtaniya sadahari. So the verse is all about respect. It's all about, being tolerant like a tree, showing respect to all forms of life. So that's what a devotee is. We're not violent, we're not aggressive. We have to maintain a sort of a cool-headed disposition. So thank you very much. And now what we'll do is, where did our priest go? Our calendars say disappearance of such and such Swami and disappearance of such a Swami. But he's, please come now, we need you, your services. Come and stay, okay. Come. Please come. Sit down. Thank you, Baruch. Okay, so at this point, we'll ask Eugene, you go to Prabhupada's Murti, and you just offer obeisances to him, the 2 mantras, Nam Om and then Namaste, and then you can offer obeisances, well, I guess right about here, to your current Diksha Guru, which is myself, Hare Krishna. And in the meantime, everyone can go, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Okay, so Bhakti Eugene, everybody likes you very much, in this community. They think they have a high regard for you. I don't know if you know that, but they like you very much. He's likable, right? What do you say? Yeah. Good. So we're happy that you're taking this step forward. We were just going to ask if you could tell us what are the 4 regulative principles that you follow.
No intoxication, no gambling, no meditating, no illicit sex.
Good. And how many rounds will you chant on the beads every day?
Minimum 16.
Minimum 16. Okay, great. And I'm just going to slap onto something. Let's not gossip. You're not that kind of person, but let's not speak ill of others. Okay, so we're going to give you the new name, and after I give you the beads, Boris, you can put the beads on, or yeah, well, just where you can, let them stay on. Okay? Okay, so Eugene, we'd like to give you a name. I mean, we have all respect for this personality, and it starts with a Y and a U, and that is Yudhishthir Das. Jai. Yes, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? So you can now sit over here, and Prabhu Dhirakanta will put the beads on you, and then for Mataji Yamuna Priya, you can stay where you are, you don't have to move, but we'll give you the Gayatri Mantra after the ceremony's over, okay? And so that, that's pretty much it for now. And Vikram will start shortly with the ceremony, and you can, books. What do you want to do with the books? To read? Yeah, are you doing the Brahma Samhita as well? Or? It's up to you. It's up to you. Okay, we can just chant a little bit in the background now. Hare Krishna. Can you leave the kirtan? Oh, okay. All right. Just soft and in the background. Yeah. Chakshurunimitanina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Yadamayam Tatati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jitapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitantam Sajivam Sadvitam Sadvadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tamta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Mancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Rama Rama
Shri Gopisha Gopikakanta Radhakanta Namaste Om Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadraya Jagannatena Swaha Om Swaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Om Om Narasinghay Namah Swaha Om Guranisinghaya Swaha Om Mahabalaya Namah Swaha Om Sambhajaya Namah Swaha Om Guruluchanaya Namah Swaha Om Rudraya Namah Swaha Om Srimate Namah Swaha Om Juganandaya Namah Swaha Om Tirulakmane Namah Swaha Om Ishaya Namah Swaha Om Sureshwaraya Namah Swaha Om Sarvabhahuve Namah Om Tiloatmane Swaha Om Vijaya Namah Swaha Om Swaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Om Swaha Om Tiloatmane Namah Swaha Om Shishumaya Namah Swaha Om Juganandaya Namah Swaha Om Bhairavadandavaya Namah Swaha Om Dangsadaya Namah Swaha Om Dhiraya Namah Swaha Om Pallatalakaya Namah Swaha Om Srimati Namah Swaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Swaha Om Swaha Swaha Om Tiloatmane Namah Swaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Swaha Om Gurave Namah Swaha Om ISKCON Sansthavacharya Varganam Swaha Om Param Gurave Namah Swaha Om Parantapaya Namah Swaha Om Juganandaya Namah Swaha Om Ishaya Namah Swaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Swaha Swaha Om Swaha Hare Krishna कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते स्वाहा लीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्रावं जगन्नाथै नमो नमः स्वाहा स्वाहा वंचाकल्पतरुश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः ॐ स्वाहा स्वाहा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद ओम स्वाहा 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 नमः महावदनाय कृष्ण प्रेम पदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतिसे नमो नमः स्वाहा स्वाहा पंचाकल्पतरुश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा स्वाहा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Swaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Swaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone. Haribol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitya Guru Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Guru Hari Bol. Nitya Guru Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Guru Hari Bol.
Gauri Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Jayam Vishnuvar Paramahansa Pariparajikacharya Sutara Satasisivat. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktimarg Swami Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnuvar Paramahansa Pariparajikacharya Sutara Satasisivat. His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki. Namacharishal Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem se Gausi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kundikiri Govardhan Ki Sri Vrindavanam Ki Navadvip Mayapuram Ki Gangamai Ki Yamunamai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Brihat Mridanga Ki Prabhupada Book Marathon Ki and to the two initiates tonight Ki. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Vishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Taramane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Hare Krishna. Hare
Thank you, everyone. Prasadam was upstairs.